CMC members produce their own programs, but they also volunteer to help with community productions. And here to talk about just how they do that is Bob Ciampaglia, a CMC member. And Bob, tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you were involved with that you might not have been involved with otherwise.
Well, the first few projects I was involved in was veterans are a big part of this, and one of your producers, Bill Murphy, does a lot of veteran segments and interviews and fundraisers. He tapes a lot of that. And, since we knew each other at the Carroll County Toastmasters, he asked me to help out a lot. So I would come with him and be a cameraman or whatever he needs me to do. And I started to think, I learned enough to do this on my own, so I just go on the website, and it gives you an opportunity to see what's coming up. And I did a couple of other veteran interviews. I did, I think, a drug intervention banquet. Banquet might be the wrong word, but it was at the Westminster Elks, and I set the whole thing up myself. I set the cameras up. It was one camera, the audio, and just did it myself. It was fun, and submitted it back in. I did a one-on-one veteran interview late last year, I believe, with someone very heroic, who had a lot to say, and he wanted to get his word out before it got to be too late. And I went to his house, and again, I set the whole thing up and met with the interviewer, and just made it happen. And I felt pretty good afterwards, because this guy now has his voice out there.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for that and Sure. helping out with that. I know the gentleman you were talking about was actually in hospice care.
Yes,
and
correct.
The fact that he was able to share his story, means so much, particularly with, veterans and Vietnam veterans in particular.
Absolutely.
Difficult for them to be able to talk about that, and that someone was able to do that. Right. It was a great gift that you were able to give him by letting him share that story.
It was my pleasure. He was just full of so many stories, and I could have been there all day just listening. The man who was interviewing, I think it's Bill Palm, I think his name was, has great questions, and it just got him going. And to see him, he was wheelchair bound in his home, and to see him come to life to tell these stories, the good and the bad, he's got so animated. And you could see he was enjoying himself and enjoying the sharing. Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you found, that the variety of things that you've been able to work on, how does that impact your life? I mean, seeing different things and meeting these people.
Well, it gives me a different perspective on things. It opens my eyes more towards the plight of the veterans and what they did for this country. And also, it opened me up to the community more, because I did a Little League, the Manchester Little League parade. I helped out with that. So, and I haven't seen anything like that since my kids were this big. Now they're grown.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I'm at a Little League parade again. So I got to feel young again, to see all that going on. I helped out with that. That plus the veterans. I'm getting community exposure. I'm seeing the brotherhood. I'm seeing just people expressing their lives, and it's so cool to hear somebody else's story and to see them share, and to open up my eyes to a whole different way of life and community. It's beautiful.
Sometimes looking through the lens
Yeah.
helps you see even more of what's right around you.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I totally agree. It's a great gift, and I thank God for the Media Center to help me relive that. Yeah.
So if someone wanted to get involved, how would you suggest they go about it? Maybe, do you have any advice? What was an easy route for you, or tips on where they should start?
Well, come to the Media Center and just ask questions. Go to the website. It's chock full of information. There's ways you can sign up, and information on how to become a member. And right away you can start seeing things you can do, and things you can be a part of. Even if it's just learning the equipment in the studio and the techniques and all the new technologies. rekindle what you may have learned earlier, like I did. Even if you're just curious, the website has a lot of information. You call here, you can speak to some of the people here. How I did it after I was told about it was I went on the site and I found the orientation that was coming up the next month, and I went. It's free. And from there, I got enough of what I needed to do to say, yes, I'm joining. So I would suggest do orientation first, because then you get an overview of the CMC.
So what's next for you? What's your next project?
Well, I want to do more of my Tai Chi teaching, and I do have a new interest in, this is going to sound kind of weird, but a new interest in falconry. I was at the Cranberry Mall, I'm dating myself. I was at the mall, and there was somebody there with a hawk, and it caught my eye, and I went to him and I said, what's this all about? And he told me, and he gave me his card, and I started reading about it and said, this is interesting. So I was thinking about producing a show, Carroll County Falconry, and because there's at least 3 or 4 certified falconers in this county alone, I had no idea. So I'm reaching out to them, and if they want to do it, I'll submit my request and start producing it.
Well, if you do that show, you call me because I would love to help out with that. That sounds great.
That
sounds really terrific.
Yeah, I will.
Bob, thanks so much for joining us and really cool ideas. If you have an idea about falconry or anything else, as Bob said, visit the website, carrollmediacenter.org, check it out, become a member, and start telling your story today. That was really cool.
Thank you.